Arewa Youth Parliament, they're not parliaments, AYP, has faulted former President Olusegun Obasanjo for saying Nigeria is becoming a failed state, describing the remark as an act of selfishness. It also said Obasanjo lacked evidence to back the claim that Nigeria is failing under the leadership of Buhari. Briefing newsmen yesterday in Abuja, President of the group, Abdul Rahman Umar Aliyu, urged Nigerians to be wary of Obasanjo, saying Buhari would usher in better days. His words, he said, "We have called this press conference as our patriotic, humble response to some recent disturbing, unpatriotic and uncourteous statements credited to a former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who is in his usual penchant for attacking any government, not giving into his egocentric and self-centered manipulation described Nigeria under the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari as slowly becoming a failed state and a basket case that urgently needed to be pulled from the brink of collapse. We wish to categorically and unequivocally state that the recent attack by Chief Obasanjo on the administration of President Buhari is another desperate attempt by the former president at projecting onto President Buhari the failures of his leadership when he was in power. We wish to also state it clear that the ways of Obasanjo are not those of the President Buhari, and this difference has meant the better for Nigeria. This is so glaringly clear and unambiguous for any right-thinking and well-meaning citizens to decipher. There's nothing done by Obasanjo as a president that was not self-serving and disadvantageous to our national interests as Nigerians, hence against the collective interests of all of us as citizens. Chief Obasanjo is many things to many people, but is all things to unto himself. His recent contribution to our political discourse, wherein he alleges that our country is divided under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, shows he benefits from an exceedingly faulty memory, is purely shameless, or has a most wicked sense of humor. Perhaps all three are facets of his makeup and were equally on display in his latest prosaic display. Obasanjo makes fiery allegations against the Buhari's government but offers no corroborating evidence. He presents only realms of words. This is because Obasanjo is projecting onto the incumbent administration the misconduct he did while in power. Yet, the ways of Obasanjo are not those of the APC, and this difference has meant the better for Nigeria. Moreover, Chief Obasanjo should be the last to complain about the state of the nation. His administration was an unalloyed miscarriage of justice and of the best aspirations of the Nigerian people. We all knew he was not elected in 1999. He was handed Nigeria on a silver platter. Perhaps because Nigeria was so easily given that he went about treating the nation as if it was a less than precious thing. He thought it was a cheap giveaway, not a privilege to govern this nation. This man should have positioned himself to be the father of the nation. All the good will that could be granted a political figure was bestowed on him. The global economy was such that it fueled our growth. Everyone wanted Nigeria to succeed after emerging from years of obnoxious military rule. Despite the flawed exercise that rendered him president, we all bit our tongues in hope that he would say and do the right thing that would have moved Nigeria forward. Instead of being a unifying figure as the commander-in-chief, he lowered himself to be a divisive, vindictive conniver. There was no table which he neared that he did not upset and overturn. There was no one who came into his company for any period of time with whom he did not fall out if he expressed a thought contrary to one of his. He tried to convert our young democracy into a one-party system. His PDP boasted that they would rule for 60 uninterrupted years. Never did they boast that they would govern us well during even 1 year of the 60 years. He should have placed the economy on the path to durable growth and shared prosperity through diversification, industrialization, and creation of a social safety net for the poor. Instead, he handed the economy over to a tight group of cronies, turning what should be a modern economy into a version of the mammoth trading companies that dominated the 17th and 18th century. We hope that Obasanjo would personify statesmanship, thus showing the way to a more benign political culture, given the vast margin between the good he could have achieved and the nebulous feat that comprise his true record. Chief Obasanjo is the person most responsible for the flaws in the Nigerian political economy since 1999. His ego is as expansive as the firmament, but his good deeds would fit into a modest sachet with ample room to spare. Obasanjo should be ashamed to even raise this issue. When he was president, the economy was on an easy sliding due to positive global trends. Obasanjo did not raise a finger to do anything for the poor. If anything good tricked down to the poor, it was by accident. Obasanjo left the poor unattended to because he cared less or nothing for them. Poverty increased under his cold indifference. Not one meaningful social program was established during his watch. In reliance on the artifice of Obasanjo and his ilk, many Nigerians were thrusted down and lower rungs on the poverty they so desperately sought to avoid. Obasanjo's allies gobbled the savings of the poor and still feast on them to this day. Nigerians should be wary of Obasanjo and his fake love and patriotism for our country. Nigeria's redemption from the past inherited from Obasanjo and his cronies is still very much on course. We must never allow these yesterday men to distract our journey to a greater Nigeria. President Buhari deserves our support and solidarity at this very moment of our nation's history, and we should continue to demonstrate this at all times. With Buhari in the saddle, our better days are near, inshallah. So, guys, this group of people are the people that some other regions try to emulate, that irrespective of what their so-called leaders are doing, you have to cover them up. You don't have to expose them. You don't have to expose them. Why is it that some people they don't even have respect for others? No matter what your leaders are doing, you just have to cover them up, because in other regions they do cover themselves up. That is exactly what I think these people are really doing. We know what is happening in their zone. It's a good thing to them. When it comes to poverty, when it comes to insecurity, they are used to it. It is not a new thing. So there's no way they can differentiate. With all these things that these people have done or have said, I hope and I wish them good luck. Let them continue in that, since they believe Buhari is the Messiah and is still the Messiah. Well, we know what some of them are complaining about. I don't know whether it is the same Obasanjo that told the Katsina people from the home state of the president, to come out how many times to protest, and they said he has disappointed them and the governor has disappointed them. I'm sure maybe it is the same Obasanjo that told them to do the same thing. Whether individual will not be able to know and recognize what they are facing and what they are experiencing as a people. So let them continue in deceiving themselves. Well, what other evidence do you need to prove that Nigeria is a failed project, a country ruled by a faceless cabal and at the precipice of disintegration is surely doomed? Amajiri youth is talking. You feed fat during Jonathan time, and how far? There's a place called hell that is waiting for you. Well, like father, like son. The evidence is there, but you people have no spiritual eyes. There's nothing like spiritual eyes. It's there. They are just trying to look at the other side. Nigeria is already a failed state. The evidence abound. They are not far-fetched. Well, Mumu used one evidence. Bandits, terrorists have occupied Katsina State. Of course, they are the people. His people are the ones coming out. Maybe it is Obasanjo that told them. The people hungry now. What is it called? Those in IDP camp, they are hungry and they are protesting. I'm sure it is Obasanjo that did all of those. I'm sure it is all the atrocity or all the bad governance of Obasanjo, it is what is affecting them today. That is what they are telling us now, that all the things, it still boils down on the blame game, that all the people who have governed before them, the problems they created is what we are still experiencing. So it is, you should just count them out. That is exactly what they are trying to say. Now they are looking for evidence. I don't know whether you guys have evidence, because they say there's no evidence to buttress what the claim of Obasanjo that Nigeria is a failed state. So guys, let's hear your opinion. Leave your comment below and let us know your thoughts.